What's up, world, and welcome to our show, Cuzzo Convo. We're your hosts, Renaissance Ronnie
and Mo Lovely. We're here to have an open dialogue about all things Black reality TV, highlighting positivity and giving out real life accountability checks.
So grab your seat and whatever you need, because we're about to dig in. One of the shows we'll highlight is Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yes. Woo. Okay, so how long have we been watching Love and Marriage Huntsville?
I've actually been watching since the very first season.
Yep, me too.
But let me stop lying. So I started watching in the second season, but I went back and binge watched the first season when I saw the second season. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so yes, the same thing here. I would say probably one of the things that I would say one of the highlights that drew me into watching Love and Marriage Huntsville was definitely seeing Black power couples. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily something that we really saw a lot of on reality TV. I think that we see a lot of people that are individuals, and you might see success, but the success with a lot of extraness. So being able to really see Black couples that were married, or I know that obviously with Kimmy and Reese, they weren't actually married at the time, but we did see that. I was drawn to it, and I was like, this is awesome. I love it.
Right. Because at first it wasn't any drama. It was just about the success of the couple.
Yes. And I loved also seeing that it highlighted marriage and business as well. Right. Because, just definitely being married, that is a whole that's a whole thing in itself. Like, you trying to balance marriage, but then bringing in marriage and business,
especially when you work with your partner.
Absolutely.
Right.
So those were like my draws when I was like, oh, this is awesome. So what about for you?
The same. I think I just was drawn to, I just like to support Black TV. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of a reality TV fan anyway. Yeah. And once I found a reality TV show that just wasn't all about drama and ratchetness, and they weren't fighting every minute, then I was like, oh, okay, I can get into this. And I just started to become drawn into the characters. So personally, my favorite character is Kimmy. Mm-hmm. Kimmy can do no wrong in my eyes. Everything Kimmy does is perfect. Kimmy is always right. So she's my favorite character. What about you?
Yeah, so I would say when I first started watching, I would have to say that my favorite was Mel. Like,
I like Mel.
I did. I loved everything Mel. Like, just a down south sweetheart, but also a boss chick. I loved everything about Mel.
She's a boss chick, and she's a little bossy too.
Yes, for sure. And then as the seasons progressed and went on, I definitely became a Kimmy fan. And one thing that I really love about Kimmy is that she's just very balanced,
right? Exactly.
in her thought process, in her thinking, when it comes to everything, from when it comes to love, marriage, when it comes to business,
our children.
Yep, she's just a very balanced individual, and so it's really good to see that image as far as like a Black woman, where you're not a Black woman that's overpowering, or people think like, oh my gosh, she's too much. But one thing I could definitely say about Kimmy is that Kimmy observes a lot. Yeah. And she will observe and she will listen before she actually says anything.
She's just a very even person.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm definitely all in with Kimmy. Yes. So
but what about, although those are our favorite characters, what about the males? Like, do you have a favorite male character?
Okay, out of the males, so it would have to be Reese. It would have to be more Reese. I don't think that I've ever had in a problem with like anything that Maurice has done, or he's presented himself to be very balanced. I can see why him and Kimmy came together.
Exactly.
But I definitely would say
Maurice is my favorite character, male character as well. Mm-hmm. But I keep watching for Marceau. Marceau
was very entertaining.
Yes.
He definitely is entertaining. Like I would have to say after first season, I don't know if he looked at the first season and was like, we need to spice this thing up.
Right.
I don't know if Carlos King had a conversation, but like Marceau came out of nowhere and was just like, oh, okay, we about to add my mother-in-law on this. Well, I got jokes for days, or I got bars from bars. Like she just
the people watching.
Absolutely.
It's like I'm gonna throw a little mess in there.
Mm-hmm.
Stir the pot a little bit.
Absolutely. And so, talking about stirring a pot, this season 4,
mm-hmm.
Child, I wasn't ready. I wasn't. I know that when they left off in the reunion, I do understand that there was a lot that was said. I know that there was a lot that was done, even behind the scenes, from what things are coming out.
Okay.
So, but I didn't think that we were getting getting all of this. So
it opens up with Tisha and Marceau. Mm-hmm. They're out to dinner. I guess they're still celebrating their 15-year
anniversary. Yeah.
Because wasn't that what they were celebrating last
Vegas?
Season in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay, they're still celebrating, I guess. I mean, it's the whole year is your 15 years.
Yeah.
And they're discussing him. He went to Africa alone.
Yes.
Which was a little weird to me.
So you know what? So my husband actually asked me. He said, "What would be like? How would you feel if I went to Africa alone?" So I told him. I said, I don't know. He went alone, which means did he go alone by himself, or did he go alone out as far as apart from Tisha, but went with other people?
Right.
I don't feel like we necessarily have. Now they did show him doing a selfie, but
that don't mean that.
Right. Exactly. It doesn't mean that he wasn't with like a group.
Right.
So I told my husband, I said, if you were going with like some of his best friends or whatever like that, I was like, I don't really feel like I would have an issue. Mm-hmm. But if it was, so as long as I know your purpose, your itinerary, like I don't really have any concerns. But I did hear Tisha when she was like, you just pretty much told me no, like I couldn't come, because I guess he needed some rest or whatever he was trying to get from Africa. So, while he was there. So I guess my thing is why did you have to travel to Africa to get that alone time?
It just was very, very weird to me. I mean, I respect him for realizing that he needed some space from his family and just to I'm assuming get his mental health together. Mm-hmm. But it's just like Africa, like it's just so far, and so
especially to be a family man and a businessman, that he's always consistently talking about his business endeavors and growing business.
And then this whole spew about the time difference, he liked the fact that they had the time difference, and the fact that he didn't have any cell phone access, basically, it just was very, very weird to me.
Yeah.
I mean, anything could have happened while he was gone.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, I think that could have been, like, Tisha could have gone, but like, let's get real here. Yeah. Marceau said something really interesting in the last season, where he talked about, like, why would I get a divorce? And so for him, and I don't understand that sometimes this is very old school thinking, where divorce isn't an option just because I'm tired of you getting on my nerves or whatever. And I'm not advocating that, somebody should get a divorce because of that. But over these past couple of seasons, it just doesn't really seem like he's really feeling Tisha. It just seems to come off like, this is a marriage, I'm committed of staying in this marriage, but at this point I feel like he looks at this more as a business transaction with Tisha, more than I look at it as oh, I see Marceau really loves Tisha and whatever. Now, again, we have to understand this is reality TV. And so at the end of the day, Carlos King and the rest of the producers and whoever is on set, they are king in when it comes to what we see.
Right.
So I'm not in there every day in Tisha and Marceau's or any of their marriages every single day. So, but what we see and what what we're continuously getting is like, this man don't really, I don't think this man really likes
I think he likes her, actually. I think that he likes that her whole submissive, he likes that she's submissive to him, and that he kind of tells her what to do. Like,
yeah, for sure.
So, and she pretty much goes along with it. She tries sometimes to have her own voice, but it's just, and I think Marceau likes that he's able to change her mind every time. Like, she doesn't stand firm in whatever she believes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he likes that. I can't say, like you said, we're not there with them every day. We can only talk about what we see. And so what we see is Tisha being played. Not played. I'm not gonna say played because I don't want to give off the impression that I believe like the cheating rumors and all of that about Marceau. But he gives puppet master appeal, and she's the puppet.
Absolutely, and so to each his own. Very much so. Yep. So yes.
So I mean, pretty much that scene ended with him basically like trying to quiet her down about discussing the whole I guess Martell's side chick, the Ariane, aka Coleslaw. They I guess she said some things, I guess implied that Marceau and Maurice were cheating as well.
Right.
And so, and Marceau was basically like, I don't want to hear that. Like, let's not talk about that. Let's not, what his words were, if someone calls you a dog, they expect you to bark. Whatever that, yeah. I mean, I get it, but.
Right.
Really, Marceau?
Yeah.
Like, for once, just let the lady get it off her chest and say what she gotta say, and then be like, okay, let's move on from it. But you just be like, no, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. Tisha, I don't want to, like, let her just get it off her chest. Sometimes ladies need that. We just need to just say it one time and be like, the nerve of her, and then we can move on. Right.
And I think, and so here's an accountability check, I think, for and a part of me thinks that he gets, because I don't, so Maurice and Marceau as brothers, two different totally, like, I'm like, when they were raised, I would love to know who got who from where.
So this is a question I always wonder. I mean, it's not important, but do they have the same both parents?
I don't think that they have. That's something that we would have to really find out. I don't think. Y'all can let us know in the comment section. But I do think that there is a parent. I think it's the same mom but different dads.
Maybe.
Or obviously, or the other way around. But I don't think that they share the same parent.
It's just gonna be interesting.
But then they all have M names: Micah, Maurice, Marceau. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to know if they grew up in the same household. But I mean, they could have been just
it's just definitely different personalities. But I would say, as far as accountability when it comes to a man, especially a man in business, and this is why I feel like I feel like Marceau sees Tisha sometimes more as business and not as his wife that has feelings, because again,
it's equal, that's
for sure. And because when it comes to business, when you're making those deals, and especially real estate, when you're making those deals or whatever that you're doing, it's like, hey, I'm coming to you to do this deal. We're running numbers. We're looking at this. We're not coming to he ha ha have any sort of emotional connection. This is business, and I'm here to do it and whatever. And that's how I feel like he really treats her. It's like, this is a business transaction, and so you're wasting my time talking about this. You're wasting your time talking about this. Why is your energy on this? We need to move on to the next thing. So when I'm saying that, like, that's where I just feel like he can say, all right, let me separate this. My wife though we may have multiple businesses together, my wife is not a business. It's just a business transaction or just a business. She's a part. We are one in our marriage, and because we are one in our marriage, I need to understand as her husband, there is needs. She is not built like me. Like, and that's the other thing. I'm like, she is definitely not built like her. I mean, and he let her know that when he said you from the other side of the tracks.
But he doesn't think like that, like, just catering to her needs. It's like, this is what I need, and you need to change to what I need. And if you can't do that, then I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, and again, if we go back and looking at business, a lot of times when contracts are in front and I'm reading a contract and I'm saying, unfortunately, I'm not going to agree to this, this, and this. So what can we do about it?
Right.
You know,
Right.
Yeah. And so I hope that if this marriage continues to be for another 15 years, that Marcel will be able to look at Tisha in a different way, so that, you know, again, we ain't there, so she's staying.
To me, like, Tisha needs a break herself, like some alone time away, because you know, it seems like her world revolves around the kids and Marcel.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's just like, and it's like he's saying, well, that's your job. But no, we both made these children together. They're both ours.
That part. Yes.
So, next scene was it Kimmy and Maurice?
Yes, with the dog. Not with the dog, but we saw Kimmy with her new dog.
His name's Zeus. Yeah. So,
Cute dog.
Cute dog. And so then Maurice and Monster arrives home for their day, and they have the discussion about the infamous picture. That Marcel posted that was just messy.
Yeah, it was messy, Marcel.
Just messy. So my thing with the picture is, I read the comments like under Marcel's post or whatever, and of course, like, the first thing people were saying was, Maurice is a liar. Maurice is a liar. But I thought it was, to me, I felt like it was clear at the reunion that he told Kimmy, because Kimmy, like, when they went backstage, she was like, this was on the guys trip, all of y'all were there, right? And he was like, yeah. I think Maurice what he was saying no to was that he didn't see, like, an interaction between Martell and the young lady.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he realized the connection between the two. Even if he noticed that she was there and maybe, like, her and Martell was getting a little flirty, I don't think he knew it was to the extent that it was like they were having a full-blown affair type thing.
Yeah, because if we gonna keep it real and funky, we go back to, what's that, season 2? Remember when Martell, they was in the club, I think, was it celebrating Maurice the bachelor party, and you would have thought that Martell was getting married, because Martell was all having the ladies so again, if that's his behavior, I can totally understand him being like, oh, okay,
that's just Martell.
Yeah,
exactly. Not like, oh, I see a relationship there going on.
Yeah,
so I think that's what Maurice was saying. I don't think that he was lying. Like, I don't think he was just straight up saying, no, I don't know this girl, I've never seen her. I don't think that's what he was saying.
Yeah. So
from that, him saying no and people assuming that he was lying, then that turned into, I guess, Arian, when she did her, well, I guess she went live and took offense to Maurice saying that he didn't know her or whatever, or what she presumed that's what he was saying. And she said that she saw Maurice cheating with, her words were, a line back looking chick, maybe the B word. Yeah. And so back to this episode where Kimmy was like, so, did you?
Yeah. Like,
straight up. And I get this, because men, or at least in my experience with my husband, you ask them a question and they talk about everything else, and you're like, just say yes or no. Just a yes or no question. Like, I don't need the background story. And, I'm not even attracted to that type of girl. I don't need none of that. Just say yes or no.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's what she was trying to get at. Like, just say yes or no. And he ultimately said no. But I just don't. What did Marcel, like, again, he's good for reality TV. He knows how to keep it going.
Right. And I'll also say this. We have to also understand that I mean, here's an accountability check. Can you trust, and you guys can let us know in the comment section, can you really trust the words of someone who is having an affair with a married man? And I'm asking this question because, you know, we have to understand that with Arian, she's been having for what, 4.5 years, 5
maybe
years,
about 6 years now.
right? All of this attention on her, all of everything, what people have been calling her or whatever, or a team for her or whatever it is. But she's had all of this attention, so now why not go? Oh no, let's go ahead and switch the tables up, and let's say
I don't want y'all to talk about me no more. Let's
talk about somebody
exactly.
Right. So that the other thing is what because normally when you're in a crowded club like that, unless she physically saw Unless she
go ahead.
Unless she physically saw Maurice taking this girl, either rubbing up on her butt or kissing or whatever, unless she can say, "Hey, listen, these are the very things that I saw," a woman easily can come up to a man and begin to have their arm around them or whatever, and a man can go, can put their arm around, whatever, and they're like, "What are you trying to say?" It can literally be like,
right.
Thank you, whatever, but unfortunately I am in a relationship, whatever.
Right.
So again, somebody could see that and be like, "Oh no, I know what I saw. He was talking to this woman."
So her words were sexing. So that's what my confusion was, because I was like, were they having sex in the middle of the club? Like, I'm not understanding when she's saying he was sexing her. And she was like, because I immediately went upstairs. That was another thing. She was like, I immediately went upstairs to Martell and was like, what does Kimmy look like? And so my whole thing was, if this all was going on in the club, I'm assuming like Maurice was down in the, the general area, and maybe she walked up to like the VIP area to Martell and was like, I'm checking Maurice out, and who is that down? He down there talking to. But when she said sexing, I'm like, so were they like in the middle of the club having like love in this club? Like what's going on?
Yeah, it's giving no receipts.
Yeah, and then until linebacker lady comes forward, then
that is true.
And in Kimmy's defense, like when she was talking to Melody about it, I think she was basically saying, we were dating.
Right.
And we weren't married yet. And so maybe it's something that I couldn't move past, because I think Melody was trying to, basically
insinuate that. Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's been hurting me about Melody lately. Mm-hmm. It's like she's not in a she's in a good place. Well, she's trying to be in a good place. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like she wants others to be in that situation, the whole cheating situation.
Right.
So it's like whenever there's a rumor that another one of the husbands is cheating, she always plays into it, Melody. Mm-hmm. She's always like, I ain't think my husband was cheating either. Right. But he was. So, but everybody's not Martell.
Right. But that's not really facts, because there was definitely times when she actually knew.
Yeah, she knew. The receipts were there, so.
Yeah, so. But, yeah.
So, Maurice said no, and that was that. So then it brings us to Tisha and Destiny, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm a little torn about the whole situation with Tisha and Destiny so apparently, I'm assuming when they were filming the reunion.
Yeah.
The Destiny's hotel room was next to Melody's.
Yeah, but things aren't lining up, because it sounded like when one person was saying right next door, but then the other person said down the hall.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I don't. I'm like, we gotta line this up, ladies.
They definitely told two different stories, because
yes, they did.
Destiny told it as if she could hear that they were having a conversation about what happened at the reunion, and she basically told her, we weren't talking bad about you, and Melody accepted that, but Melody's issue was that she was discussing it with Tisha.
Right.
But when Melody told it, she made it seem like they were talking about her badly.
And she said that Destiny actually admitted to that. She was like, I was talking to Ish about you.
Right, because Melody was like, I didn't hear that part, but basically Destiny admitted to it.
Right. So
I don't know.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm a little team Destiny on this one.
So I'm gonna say this. I think that Destiny. I don't think that Destiny probably should have had the conversation with Tisha, because this is the thing. If you and I are going through our issues and we know that we're not necessarily on the best of terms, then, and I know that I was your friend before this individual, the best thing probably for me to do is, though I might feel some type of way and how Melanie made me feel, rather because she's dissing me or
right,
not what
they hadn't talked lately.
Right,
yeah.
Whatever it is, sometimes it's best to just refrain. And if somebody is inviting you into a conversation, now see, that's the other thing we don't know. When they were in the room, was this something that Tisha had, started and then Destiny fell into the trap? Because I'm gonna call it a trap. Okay. Or is it that Destiny went to Tisha and she was like, well, I know they're not really like that. So I'm gonna have this conversation. So I really, really wish that Destiny never actually went to Tisha, and or that if it was Tisha that started the conversation, that she actually never had the conversation, because it just, I don't know, like, as far as just being a friends with Melody, knowing that Mel and Destiny are friends, seemingly closer than definitely her and Tisha at this point, girl code for me, I just wouldn't have had that conversation.
But I think in that moment, Destiny didn't know where her and Melody's relationship lied. That's number one. And so the way Destiny told the story is as if she wanted to know what was happening during the reunion before she got there. And so it was basically like, who else was she? I mean, I guess she could have asked Kimmy, but she definitely couldn't have went to Melody at that point because they hadn't spoken.
Right.
So
yeah,
it just really depends on what, I don't know. I mean, you're right, because I understand that, because my loyalty always lies with my friends. Even if me and my friend is on the outs at the time, my loyalty always lies with my friend.
Because you just never want to come in the future and being like, oh, I remember I was talking ish about you, girl. It just becomes like, well, what you mean you was like, it can become really messy. Right. Because then, you and then that person that you came to in confidence that, oh, I'm coming to you, then they'd be like, oh, no, because she ain't your girlfriend, because she came to, it gets, because, like, the thing is, we've seen Tisha be messy.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying is that from what's presented to us, I would have refrained, like, being like, all right, yeah, and again, even if there was a conversation that was being had, the way in which whatever Mel heard or whatever,
she heard her say, because Melody's a Scorpio,
right?
And I'm a Scorpio, so I don't know, what does that mean? Like, why was that offensive?
See, yeah, that's they're right, but see, and yeah,
what was that about though? Seriously, like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
I was like, I'm a Scorpio. What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a Scorpio, maybe because she'll sting you and then run away. Like, I don't.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could just think about, like the animalistic side. So yeah, that's probably
I'm sure that'll be explored later on in the season. I'm sure. The layers will get peeled back, and it's best probably to have the conversation in a room with Destiny and Tisha and Melody all in the same room, and everyone can say, well, I said this, and this is what I said. I didn't say that.
Because the other, and that, like you were saying, the whole two different stories. The other issue that I'm having is where, so Melody is coming to Kimmy and saying this is what was stated, and I'm like, okay, well, hold on, you never said, I'm gonna be real. Do I believe when Destiny said, you talking to my enemy? I definitely believe that Mel said that.
Right, because she kind of dressed it up when she said it to Kimmy.
Yes, and that was, and let me tell you, because I never really looked at Mel sideways, like, ever.
I have.
Really?
She's been giving me major, like, mean girl vibes.
So this is for the when the reunion happened, and when she said that she didn't know that she don't remember sucking on nothing, honey. Let me say this to you, baby. Everybody that sucked on something, even if it was a lollipop, they remember. I'm sorry, because there's no way. Right. And so when she said that, I was like, no, girl, stop it.
My whole thing was
with that. When she was telling Kimmy, I was like, I'm looking at you kind of sideways now, Kimmy. I'm sorry, Mel, because I'm like, you know how to switch up.
What? Hold on. Let's talk about this for a second. The whole, you said you gave the man fellatio, but now she's saying no, he gave me fellatio thing. Why was that important? Like it didn't matter, because if Martell was my husband, he said that to me, I'd have been like, well, in her case, when she was saying she didn't remember, even if she was saying she didn't remember, I'd be like, I don't remember, he gave it to me, I gave it to him, it doesn't matter because we're not together. It's like,
yeah,
why did it even, who gave it to who, why did that even matter? Like, well, I'm sure she probably at the time was telling him about it because he had cheated and she just wanted him angry, like,
right,
you mad because I won't give you head, but I did not found me a new man, I give him head. Like,
so. Well, that, and I think that, Martell just falls into this whole thing of, however, because I think that Mel, especially first starting out from season 1 to definitely season 2, and then entering into season 3, she was the down south sweetheart, and a lot of people
trying to say she cheated.
Well, I think that he's trying to break that. Y'all see her as this, like she's never done anything in the marriage, and I don't think that anybody who is married, maybe people who are not married, but I feel like anybody who's married knows that nobody is perfect in a relationship. Right. Now, that doesn't mean that people are going out and cheating, but so I don't think that anybody was looking at Mel like, oh, she is perfect, but I will say that it just seemed like it was, or it has been Martell's like goal to like try to really like rip her, like I'm gonna just your reputation, I want it to be all flipped so people can look at you and be like, no, you ain't that woman that we thought.
You're not the Southern Belle we thought you were.
Right. Like Phaedra Parks.
You're not giving Phaedra Parks. Phaedra Parks was definitely a freak behind closed doors, but that's a whole other story. But this is my thing. So is he trying to get technical with it, like say technically we were still married, we weren't divorced, and so you started seeing this other man, and she's basically saying, although we weren't divorced, we weren't together. Mm-hmm. I had found out that you were cheating, and I was out the door. I left, I got my own place, and then I had found the other man, so that doesn't count.
Right, that's what she's saying.
Oh, okay.
Now, unfortunately, this is my thought. When you're married, you married. Like, until you sign those divorce papers, and we are literally saying we are going our separate ways. And even in some states, like that still is infidelity.
Well, Martell is such a gaslighter. Like, he just gets on my nerves. Every time he appears on that screen, I just be like.
But yeah, and talking about that goes into the next scene of him and Lewis,
the Whitlows.
Child.
So they're at the compound, which is Lewis's gym. Mm-hmm. So they're discussing
the reunion.
The reunion. And of course he brings up the whole Melody cheated situation, and he's reveling in the fact that now people know that Melody cheated too. Like, which I don't even think people care, because like I said, it was that she found out that you were cheating, and she said she left, and so she got her man. And so, and even if she didn't leave, I don't think people would feel so bad for Martell, because it's just like, Martell, you had like a whole yeah. So good. We're glad she found her another man to like. So I don't know why he keeps bringing that up. Like, nobody's feeling sorry for you now, Martell.
Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody is. I'm sure some men out there who are Team Martell, and I'm sure some ladies who think he's just so fine that they just believe and care about everything Martell says. But no, he's just a gaslighter to me. But and they talked about how hard the other couples were on Whitlow. So my thing with that is that I don't think they were hard on them. I think that what they were saying to them is that you like to bring to the table everybody else's business, issues, but you don't talk about yours. Like, you keep your secrets tight, but then you come, and especially talking about somebody's child.
Yeah, like, ugh.
Tiffany, that was just like a low down.
Yeah, I would have never. There's no producer that could have ever, because I do know that in reality TV,
Stuff to the table.
right, they'll bring stuff to the table and go, oh well, you need to have this discussion with this person, or you need to. But I'm sorry, like there's just certain things, and especially a kid, that's a minor at that, like that you should have said, that will not be my first scene.
Yeah,
I will not be introduced like that. I am sorry. And
either way, like she just, and
yeah,
you know what? I'm gonna give them some more time. The Whitlows to grow.
I told Carlos King we can do without them.
I'll let
I'm
them.
sorry.
I'm gonna give them an opportunity to grow on me, because I think there's potential. Miss Tiffany just got to get it together, and it's like Lewis. He can be a little bit balanced in his thinking, but then he get with his wife, and then he just goes right back to step into the bad side all over again.
Yeah, Tiffany got something going on.
Yeah.
He was like, this beautiful, beautiful girl that he may have never thought that he could have. No, I'm serious. I mean, like, because when you look at both of them, no, I'm not trying to. No, I'm just saying, like,
you don't think Lewis is handsome?
Okay, well, maybe just Lewis isn't my type, but, like, I don't know. Like, when I see, if somebody's
unattractive.
when I see Tiffany, that's not who I see Tiffany with. Like, I actually would have loved to see what her ex-husband looked like, because it just doesn't, the way in which she comes off, it doesn't give him at all. That's all I'm saying. Like, that's not my, I'm not trying to, obviously there's someone for everybody.
Well, they show the clips, like, from scenes going down the season, and it looks like that Tiffany may have admitted to Melody. It looks like, so the episode hasn't come on, so I don't know. I wasn't there. But that maybe she got with Lewis because he was established. He has money.
Yes.
So,
well, but she was saying that to Tisha, even when they were talking, and she was like, I wanted more, money, like stability. She actually was saying that to Tisha, when they were having their discussion. When Tisha was like, we don't know nothing about you. I was like, okay, Tisha.
What's your tea?
Right. She was like, I was like, this is a weird. They must have literally said, hey, Tisha, can you go? Yeah, it was. They probably said, hey, Tisha, do you think you can go to Tiffany and just start a conversation, because we need some more footage, because we're about to end this season, and we just think that, like,
maybe we can get some tea out of her.
Right.
It was just weird.
Because she was like, Tiffany was like, what? And I was like, for the first time you saying what, looking at Tisha, was when you came in to that bar with all the ladies talking about Monster. Everybody was like, huh? What?
Right.
So yeah, but yeah.
So Lewis and Marcel talked about Marcel breaking the bro code by posting that picture.
Marcel's breaking the bro code because again, this goes back to my whole thing with Destiny and Tisha. When somebody is new I'm not saying that you need to bully them. I'm not saying that but just like how you're saying, I'm going to let them grow. Martell is just looking for someone to be Team Martell. And he understands that Maurice and Marceau, even though as much as Marceau is on his own little whatever.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Right. He understands that there's not going to be everybody's not going to be like, bro, like we're all going to be all for you and in your nonsense. No, like
they're going to hold him accountable.
Exactly.
Right.
And so that's the thing for me, is that it's like here he comes, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to use him because I can talk to him, and I need to check because I need to be on this show.
So let me defend him on the reunion, because I need him to come on, step onto the bad side, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
I need the support.
That's what it's given. It's given like, yeah, I was telling them that nobody is. You not being transparent. You not being transparent. And I'm like, okay, well, we need receipts, Martell. Yeah. What are they not being transparent about?
You can't just be like,
you can't just
I'm
say
cheating, that. And so let's just not talk about me cheating no more. How about we talk about you and your 20 women, or whatever he said about Marcel. And Marcel just very much gives me, I'm gonna make up something because I don't want you talking about me.
Yeah. Well, like again, it goes back to even why him and Arian are together, because the same thing with her. She was, I'm going to say that the linebacker that he was. It's like, lady, where are you getting all this from?
And you know what? I know we're kind of like jumping all over the place, but when it made me think, when Melody was talking to Kimmy about basically the things that Ariane said. Is it Ariane? How you pronounce her name?
I don't know. Just call
And
her.
I don't want to keep calling her
A.
Coleslaw. Coleslaw. Name poor child
I
Coleslaw.
thought it was Arian, but
And I don't want to say Marcel, the other woman, the other young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's very young. Like, is she in her 20s? Is she 30?
I don't know if she's 30 yet, but I do know that she's younger than.
Young, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, when Melody and Kimmy was talking, it's like Kimmy was saying basically that, you know, listen to what the young lady is saying, because what she's saying about your husband, because it might be true. But then when Arian or whatever her name is starts talking about you, Melody, and saying different stuff about you and that you were sleeping with the lawyer and you were doing this, then it's like, okay, don't listen to her no more. So it's like, believe her when she said that your man cheated.
Right.
Don't believe her when she say that I did stuff. Like, and I don't like that. Like, Melody she gotta step outside of herself and say, me and Marcel's situation is me and Marcel's situation. And although there are accusations out there about Marcel and Maurice, that if there's no receipts, like, take it at face value. Don't try to put it in their heads that maybe their husband is cheating. Like,
Right.
And I think that's what bothers Tisha the most about Melody. And that's what she feels like. I don't know why she keeps saying that Melody tried to destroy her marriage, because I don't think that's what that was. The only way Melody could destroy it is if you actually believe what she's saying.
Right.
And you say you don't. So she's not trying to destroy your marriage. If you don't believe her and you're not planning on leaving Marcel for what Melody said, then she's not destroying your marriage, and she's not trying and move on, like you say. But the truth is, it bothers Tisha.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It bothers Tisha, and you could hear a little bit of it when Kimmy was saying that, you know, the repercussions of Marcel putting that picture out there is the toll that it takes on his wife.
Right.
But she kind of backtracked on that when they were at the dinner table.
Listen. Yeah.
So I'm assuming the Scott brothers was having a dinner to hold Marcel accountable for putting that picture out there.
Child.
And I don't know, Marcel's just not getting it. Is he not understanding what Maurice is saying to him? Like,
I think that man lives in his own head. No, I do. Like, I really, you know, we haven't seen, I don't feel like we've ever seen one season yet where really anybody has held Marcel accountable. Like, I mean,
like,
you know,
he went to Africa to clear his head, but he didn't want to go to see the therapist, man.
Exactly. So, you know, we see him and Miss Wanda always get into it or whatever, but as far as like someone really sitting down and saying, now again, him and Maurice might have a conversation all for me and like, bro, I'm coming over, we need to talk.
Right.
But as far as like on TV, what we see, like, it's like, let Marcel live in his own world, his own head, just let him do him. But that's dangerous.
When I see men like Marcel, it makes me wonder, who do they listen to? Like, who do they respect? Who do they listen to? Who is someone who could give them advice and they respect it and actually take the advice? Because Marcel is very much, I think I know everything.
Absolutely.
So it's like, who does he listen to?
Right. And I mean, a lot of times when somebody when they have that type of thinking, that is normally a trauma that they are dealing with, whether it was adolescent, teenage years, or it can even happen in a young adult, where someone
like Kanye,
oh Lord, where somebody did not validate him, you know. And a lot of times when you don't feel validated, you know, there is when you step into a room, you project that, hey, I am whatever, but it's a complete cover up for the insecurities of which. And now again, if him and I were sitting on it, he'd be like this, you're wrong, I don't have any insecurities. Like,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Right, exactly. But I'll be like, you do. And again, but only people like that understand kind of just that psychology and just obviously, like, you know, me being,
it's a level, when as smart as Marcel is, it's a level of ignorance when you can't see those things within yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
yeah. And then again, and then there's always just this cover up of, you know, I'm going to present myself to be like this. And I think this. I think that Marceau knows that he's also a funny man.
Yeah.
And so, again, if you're in the comments and you're on and people are, gassing him up, so he's probably like, oh, y'all like that? I'm going to keep on going. So, because we see it even when he's going back and forth with Miss Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
And he sometimes just laughs. Like, he'll be like... He'll say something and then start laughing. It's like, you know what you doing.
Right.
Now, Miss Wanda is she wow. I ain't gonna say she wow. Wow, Miss Wanda.
Miss Wanda. Everybody got a Miss Wanda in their family.
Waffle.
Like, keep their head down. Keep their boots high. But don't be knowing what the heck they're talking about. Like, she looks great. Miss Wanda be having it going on. But, no. You don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. Go and sit down somewhere, Auntie. Auntie Wanda, that's her name. We're going to name her Auntie Wanda.
Yeah.
Because she ain't giving Nana or Grandma tea. She's definitely giving Auntie vibes. Very rich Auntie vibes. Because we wanted to keep her thigh-high boot on. And that... You could tell her from the South.
Oh, yes.
Because wanted to keep her a gel slick down, finger wave with the bun in the back.
She looking like a doo-wop girl.
But Miss Wanda got it going on. And I was like, yeah, she definitely sits under the dryer for a long time at the hairdresser.
He be like, it's done.
When you could tap one of the heads,
yes. It's a fried died. Half Kimberlize, half the devil. But
yeah, add her little ER on the end of all words to make it seem like it's proper. You be like, no, that's not a word. But that way off.
I know. So what's the next? I think we at the next. Yeah.
So basically at the dinner, they were trying to hold Marceau accountable, and he was not breaking it. And then Miss Tisha, like Kimmy was trying to take up for her. Kimmy was basically saying, Marceau, when you do things like this, it affects your wife.
Right.
And Tisha was like, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't know what
now
world.
Tisha, you know it does. Like,
so this is what I'm going to say. This screams to me that Tisha, when again, I'm about to say, when lights, camera, action is done in finito, we sitting at a table, we eating dinner, and this is a scene. Mm-hmm. When those cameras and everything is done and they move out, I gotta go upstairs in the bedroom with my husband. And if I
feel her.
Yeah, right. And if I say anything that goes against or whatever, then I have to deal with him.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and so I really just think that she was just like, oh, now I'm just not even going to entertain it. No, it doesn't bother me.
Especially not on camera.
Right. So my thing is that, I don't agree with that, Tisha. I don't think that that's a good way to handle, again, he needs to be held accountable. So if it really is affecting you, or even if it did, because she even shared, she was like, well, it was in the very beginning, but then it's just like, yeah, like, be okay with sharing those disappointments.
Everything she described, it screamed that you were bothered. Like, I read the comments. When I'm feeling good, I read the comments. When I don't feel so good, I don't read the comments. And it's like, yeah, well, that's what we're saying, is that as a result of what your husband posted, then the comments have not been good.
Right.
And it could be triggering to you. Mm-hmm. That's what we're trying to get you to admit to.
Absolutely.
And you backpedaling from it.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, if they say married for 15 more years, there needs to be, the one thing I will agree with is, yeah, I hope that there is some counseling in the works. That's what I will say. I do. Because I think that I'll say this. I just see two broken people that came together, who, probably one saw the vulnerability, and then one saw, because I don't know if if Marceau had that success.
Before
So
Tisha.
right. So the thing is being on the other side of the tracks and saying, hey, I want to break generational curses and I want to make sure that my family, whatever. I think that, you know, sometimes we see the money or we see the status or whatever.
She saw his potential.
And then he saw, oh, okay, she's from there. Oh, okay. Oh, ooh, I can say this. Or and she won't. What you call them? Oh, we having this conversation about, like you said, submission and all those sorts of things. There's nothing wrong with submission, but there's a way in which we, as married women, absolutely, that we're to submit. It doesn't mean that we are a quiet little church mouse and like not saying nothing. Right, like no,
not puppets.
Right, you have value.
Yeah, you can voice Tisha.
And so there is a way, and I think that maybe what Tisha hasn't. I'm wondering if Tisha just hasn't been able not only find her voice, but is it possible that she hasn't been able to find a voice that talks to Marceau and not like. Because he seems like she annoys him when it's like a gnat, you know, the gnat that's to me what Marceau does to Tisha when he's like, oh my gosh, just gnat this gnat. So maybe where the counseling can help with those two is, hey, this is the personality of your husband. So instead of maybe having a conversation that starts off with, hey babe, I want to talk to you, whatever, about so and so, maybe Marceau needs to say, listen babe, I just want to say that I appreciate, man, the business deal that you just did, and like what's going on with the chocolate wine and like.
No, I appreciate what you do at home though.
Like, right.
I just appreciate you.
Yeah, like all right, exactly. Tapping into the very things that he, you know, that build him up, and then saying, you know. If we can really, I would love to have, because I want to be able to make sure that you remain that person, right? Or that you those strong qualities that I see in you. I want to make sure.
Like last season he tried to do that, but it's like he was just saying the words though. It was like, but Marceau, after that, did you follow up? Did you put the actions behind all the praises that you were giving her? Because I feel like he tried to do this.
So you're talking about Marceau doing it to Tisha. I'm saying for Tisha to do it to Marceau.
Okay.
Because remember, everything, again, editing is what it is, but everything that we see, I don't feel like I've ever seen a scene with Tisha saying, like, if she's ever coming to him to want to talk to him about something that's controversial or whatever it is, or how she's feeling, it's like the man that you might be married to might need to hear something that
she needs to learn ultimatums.
Yeah.
You need to let him know, if this doesn't happen, this is what I need for me, and if this doesn't happen, then this is what's going to happen. And you gotta stand firm in it. You can't just like let him talk you out of it, because I'm sure Marceau would definitely try to talk her out of it.
I wonder if he has his law degree, or like if he
because he needs to be the lawyer, not Maurice.
Oh, that's right, because Maurice said, yeah, I wonder, because that man, he knows how to talk. Yeah, he definitely knows how to talk.
Yeah, and if you see, he wouldn't be able to do that to Kimmy.
Oh no.
He wouldn't be able to smooth talk Kimmy.
Because Kimmy said it and said, really? You didn't see anything? You wrong? You did? Like, yeah, no, he definitely, he was like.
And she definitely gave a hint, like, basically, like, that everybody kind of lets Marceau just do him, but not her. She's like, you know.
And
when I come back and say to Marceau, it's like she stands up and it's like, no, that's wrong.
Right.
And this is what you need to fix, but does Marceau listen?
Yeah. And it's interesting because you saw that their other brother Micah and their wife was present. So it would just, I would love.
Are they adding them to the cast?
I don't know if they're adding them to the cast, but I would love to just, again, I would love to just know more about the upbringing and like just even how they.
That Tisha, okay, remember last season we met Kimmy's friend.
Yes.
Who was Maurice's friend.
Right. You talking about, was that the lady?
Yeah, and Tisha doesn't like her. I think she used to date the brother and dumped him, I guess. So is this that brother? Did you hear this? Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, remember the lady who, like, Kimmy was confiding in last season?
Yeah.
and they were talking about the whole Kiowa situation
Right.
and all that. Apparently, and excuse me if I'm getting this wrong.
So allegedly.
Right. She used to date one of a brother. So I don't know if maybe they have another brother, but because Melody's mama dated a brother too, didn't she?
That's right. There's an older brother.
So okay, I don't know if it's the older brother or if it's Makai, but this
Micah.
woman, Micah.
Micah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Micah, Mike, chat. Okay. No, I don't know if I think she dated a brother is what I recall, and that the brother was in love and she broke his heart, and so that's why Tisha doesn't like her.
Doesn't like Kimmy?
No, doesn't like the
other. Oh, okay. Because I was like, I'm confused. Okay, yes, I'm remembering.
Because I'm assuming that when Kimmy came into the picture with,
you're right.
Got introduced to Maurice.
Yes.
That this lady was dating.
Right. You're right.
The brother.
Yes, I remember the conversation. Yes, her and they were sitting outside. Yes. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. They must have like a lot of brothers or something because they got Melody's mom who dated or did whatever with the brother. May or may not have had a sex tape with him.
Oh, Lord.
Who was driving for miles to see him.
Miss Monk. She said, "You sure you don't have?"
That is just so weird.
Yeah.
Like, and what's Melody's mom name?
I forgot.
Can you put that in the comments?
Melody's
Melody's mom name. I don't want to call her Melody's mom.
Because she's so...
How to pronounce Arian and Micah.
Micah. Yeah, Mel's mom is very chilled and laid back. Like, you can tell that she's like, I'm really only doing this to support you as my daughter.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think. Don't you know how everybody thinks that Melody is like the Southern Belle? I think Mama definitely gives off that. I'm very much the Southern Belle or the mama of the Southern Belle. But she probably is very feisty behind closed doors because Miss Wanda almost took her there for a second.
Lady.
I think she's very feisty behind.
No, she didn't say lady. She said woman. Woman.
Right, and she looks like she may be on the younger side. And so she probably...
Yeah, because Mel's not really that old. I think Mel is like... Isn't Mel like 34, 35?
Well, are any of them in their 40s?
I think... I want to say Marcel. Oh, well, yeah. Tiffany and Luz for sure. Yeah. But as far as... I don't know if Tisha might be 40. And Kimmy for sure. Kimmy, yeah.
Because I feel like
Mel. Yeah, I think they all are. I think that Mel.
So, whatever age they are, the show pretty much closed out with them.
Yeah. Trying
to hold Marcel accountable.
Yes.
At the dinner table, but I guess there's more to come through the season, and we will be tuned in.
Absolutely.
And we will be here to tell you about it.
Yes. So if you enjoyed what you heard, don't forget to love on that like button and support us by subscribing.
So you want to catch all of our latest episodes and comment and share all your thoughts about today's episode.
All right. Thank you.